Finally, we're going to cover scrolling websites. Now with the standard website, we can click the different buttons in the menu bar and it will take us to different pages. But if we only have a few pages and not too much content on those pages, we can lay out our website in a way that's much more efficient and user-friendly. It's called a scrolling website. Let me show you a few examples. On a scrolling website, we take all the pages and combine them into a single scrolling page with sections. So the buttons in the menu bar just scroll to those corresponding sections. And what's nice about this is that you don't even need to use the buttons. You can easily just scroll up and down the page and see everything. And when you want to jump directly to a certain section, you can use the buttons. This is much more efficient than flipping back and forth between different pages. Here's another example. And if you'll notice, this one doesn't even have a menu bar. That's because it's not very long. So if you don't have a very big website, you may not even need a menu bar at all. Now keep in mind, if you have a large website with a lot of pages and lots of content, this will not work. The page would be way too long. It's designed for smaller websites. So let's build one really quick. Okay, starting out you have your 3-page sections, your header, the page, and the footer. So first we'll get rid of the header and the footer because this makes editing easier since everything will be in one section. Let's go to the template designer, turn off the header, and turn off the footer. Save changes, and show changes. So now all we have is the page area, no header and no footer. And you notice up here the header and footer options are gone. So let's activate the page area. Now I want to start from scratch, so I'm going to click inside this table and delete it. Now all I have is this thin blank area, so I will now insert some new tables. The first one will be my header with a background image. Insert new image table, and there's my new header. Now I'm going to click in here and just add some more tables that I will fill in one by one later. Insert new layout table. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, my 3 new tables have been added. And these will be the different pages or sections of my website. So really quick, I'm just going to do some simple editing and add some simple content as an example. You can get as fancy as you want, but I'm trying to keep this video short and sweet. So let's go to the header and do some simple edits. Let's go ahead and add our logo. And that's way too big, so we'll shrink it down. Let's align it to the left. There we go. Let's change this. Make it nice and bold and big. Let's make it bigger. Let's go ahead and add some color to it. There we go. Let's make the logo a little bit larger. That looks good. Okay, let's move on to the first section. Let's call this one About Us. And this table cell is going to be the title, so let's add another one below it for the content. And we can jazz up the title. Let's change the font, make it larger, add some color to it, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste the content. Let's go to the next one. Same thing, we'll add a new cell, and this is going to be the title. We'll call it Services, and let's do the same thing to match the title above. And again, I'm going to copy and paste. And let's go ahead and make these bullet points. There we go. Okay, now we want to give it a nice visual separation from the previous section. So we're going to click inside the table and go up here to Edit Table Properties and just add a background color. Update, and there it is. Now it gives it a nice visual separation from the rest of the sections. Okay, last section. Let's call this Contact Us. Let's add the cell below it. And then we'll jazz up the title. And here, let's go ahead and center it. We'll add a phone number. And let's put a contact form in there. There we go. Simple, clean, and user-friendly. Now we need to tag each section so we can link to it. Let's start with the header. We'll click on the background image because that will select our outer layout table. Edit Table Properties. And now we use the CSS ID to label this table. Let's call it Home, since it will take us back to the top of the page. And keep in mind, nobody sees these labels. They are just for linking. Update. Let's do the next one. Edit Table Properties. And this is About Us. Keep in mind, these labels cannot have spaces or special characters, just letters, numbers, and dashes. And it must always begin with a letter. Update. Let's do the other two. And now we're going to save our changes. Okay, now we go over here to Manage Pages. Remember, this is a single page scrolling website, so let's get rid of these extra pages. Now we will add anchors. The first one will be Home. And here you can either type in the anchor name manually or select from the anchors below. And you notice the anchor links always have a pound symbol, so if you do type it in manually, don't forget to start with that. Add anchor, and there it is. We have the button title and the anchor link. Let's do the others. Okay, one last thing. The first one is the actual page and not just an anchor. We can't delete it, but we don't want it showing in the menu bar. So we're going to hide it. Let's save changes. And now let's see what it all looks like. Show changes. Okay, we have our 4 buttons up here, and when we click them, they take us to those sections. And of course, we can always scroll the page without using the buttons. Pretty simple. So that's it for scrolling websites.